Hello everyone, welcome and thank you so much for watching this video. This video is brought to you by EduRise Global. This is an exclusive social science lesson on the topic what is history. This video is made in English. My name is Aravind and I'm going to be the virtual educator for you today, and let's get started. So I would like to pose a question for you in the beginning of this lesson. How many of you like history? Okay, let's be honest, right? So history is one of the subjects which are perceived to be pretty difficult by a lot of people. Some of the reasons that they always say is it is a lot of factual, it is a lot of informative. It has to do a lot more with knowing different things, facts, like all these things, right? But if we really look at it, the history behind the name of the history itself, it's so interesting. The Greek word, pronounced as historia, which means learning by inquiry, is the base word for the word history in itself. I think the point I'm trying to say here is history is all about learning by inquiry and also trying to understand about what really happened to the mankind in the old times, right? So we can take really valuable lessons from what they have experienced and how they have experienced in their lives, their happiness, their sorrow, their victories, their losses, and it could be a really good way of understanding about our own mankind. So I think that's the essence of history. And with this note, let's jump into the lesson for today. So today's lesson is a part of the first lesson in the social science textbook on grade 6. So grade 6 is typically have multiple aspects in social science, starting from history, geography, and civics. So today we'll be experiencing the first lesson, and I'm super excited. Let's get started. So there are two objectives of the class for today. The first one is we will understand the sources of history and articulate the meaning of prehistory and proto-history, right? The second objective is quite simple. We will explain the history of the mighty Emperor Ashoka. So if you really ask me, okay, what is the connection between both these things, I will definitely tell you before the end of this video. So please watch out. Let's get started with the prehistory. So, mankind has been evolving since a longer times, right? So, millions of years, people have actually been started living, and they have actually went through a different lifestyle completely altogether, right? So, the prehistory captures the period between the use of first ever stone tools, right? When men started using the stone tools and the invention of writing systems till the point they have actually started doing the writing, which is something that we can comprehend and understand, right? So this specific period is called prehistory. Some of the sources of history that we can use in this specific that are produced in this time that we are actually understanding is stone tools. Like looking at the stone tools, we're understanding, okay, so what are the things that man has done during that period. The second one is the excavated materials. You might be familiar with a lot of such archaeological spots, right? The third one is also rock painting. So this is also done by man in the older times, like millions of years ago, and that's what we are understanding about this historical period. The second one is called proto-history. So we have actually told you that man has actually started doing writing, right? But at the same time, the writing is not something that are actually comprehensible by us, right? So that's the difference. The period for which records in writing are available. So in the proto-history, we have records of writing, but at the same time, they're not deciphered still now by us yet. So they are actually they're actually something that people are actually researching and evolving. So if you look at the order, so it will be like prehistory, proto-history, and then comes the actual history, which composes of the events and sequence of things that happen, which is something that we have actually understood, right? So let's go into an activity time. As I told you earlier, history is all about learning through inquiry, right? So there are two types of sources in the history. I'm not going to actually deep dive into them, which is something that I'm going to give you as an activity for today. So the first one is archaeological resources. The second one is literary resources. As I told you, like around prehistory, proto-history, and history. So these two things are much connected to them if you really actually look deeper into them. So what I'm going to request you is actually go and search about these two specific topics, archaeological resources as well as literary resources, and try to come up with what are your findings, what are the ways, what are the sources in this specific topic people are actually using to understand history, right? So I'm sure this will be a very interesting search for you. Please go ahead and do it, and also share your learnings on the comments. Yeah. So let's now move into the history about the mighty emperor of Ashoka, right? So as I told you, that's a specific reason about looking into the emperor of Ashoka. Let's look at it. The most famous ruler of ancient India was Emperor Ashoka. It was during this period that Buddhism spread to different parts of Asia. Ashoka gave up war after seeing many people grieving death after the Kalinga War. He embraced Buddhism and then devoted his life to the spread of the message of peace and dharma. So his service for the cause of public good was exemplary. He was the first ruler to give up war after victory, right? So this is very interesting. So people have actually left wars after winning it. Um, he was the first one to build hospitals for animals. He was the first to lay roads. Even though Emperor Ashoka was great, his greatness had been unknown till 20th century. The material evidence provided by William Jones, James Prinsep, and Alexander Cunningham revealed the greatness of Emperor Ashoka. Based on these accounts, Charles Allen wrote a book titled The Search for the India's Lost Emperor, which provided a comprehensive account of Ashoka. Many researchers made thereafter brought Ashoka's glorious rule to light. These inscriptions were observed on the rocks Sanchi Stupa and Saranath Pillar and helped to understand the greatness of Ashoka to the world. Now, we can actually look at such a great emperor, and his history hasn't been known to people, right? And only through this understanding of history, using those sources, they're able to understand more about him, and they're also able to understand and embrace whatever that he has done for the country. Yeah. So there are also some words which I want to cover as part of this specific lesson. I think these are very interesting words for you. That's something that you can learn from. The first word is numismatics. So if you're watching this video, you can actually repeat after me. Numismatics. This is the study of coins, right? It's a type of history where you're actually studying about the coins. The second one is epigraphy. So this is the study of inscription. So you have seen on temple walls, on different places where actually inscriptions were made, right? So this is a study about that. And the third one is Dhamma. So we have actually seen in the history of Ashoka ruler, he was actually propagating for Dharma. So it's a religious duty, right? It's something that you do for your religion, for the good and welfare of people. Yeah. So let's do a quick summary of the class today. We initially saw about prehistory, proto-history. We also saw the order of history, and actually we also understood the sources of history during those times. Then we also had an activity which I told you to actually search and come back. Then we were actually understanding about the different sources of history. Yeah, that's the activity we have done. And the third is we learned about the mighty King Ashoka and what are his activities and how understanding about history has helped us to know more about this great ruler. Yeah. Thank you so much for participating on today's class. I hope you really liked the video. So this video is brought to you by EduRise Global. We are everywhere on social media, and you can specifically follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to receive updates about a lot of interesting insights. And thank you so much for watching this video once again. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.